I made a video this morning very critical of Lance based on one comment he made to The Athletic, and maybe he was taken out of context. So here's what happened. He was basically asked if he's going to work on his throwing motion this offseason. I think he said no. And I took that to mean he's not going to work on throwing mechanics at all, which to me is like, a huge red flag because he has to, just like Jalen Hurts did. I've broken it down. He has this left front leg lock thing that Hurts had. He fixed it. Mm-hmm. Anyway, upon further review, I think maybe it was a misunderstanding because Trey Lance has been working on this. He does work with Quincy Avery, who is the guy who fixed this for Jalen Hurts. Quincy Avery's the one of the people who identified the issue with Hurts and fixed it. So there must have just been like a misunderstanding here because he's working with Quincy Avery. He's gonna be there. He knows what he's a hard. I think he's gonna be working on this. I'm fairly certain he's gonna be working on this all offseason.
Yeah, so I actually saw the interview where that came from. Did you see that interview where they?
No, I just saw the little blurb, and I was like, "What is it?"
So it was on. Yeah, it was on the exit interviews, like the day where they're cleaning out their lockers and leaving.
Yeah.
And I don't know who it was, but somebody said, "What are you going to be working on this off season? Do you plan on working on your throwing motion?" And he says,
okay."
And he was like, not really my throwing motion necessarily is not what I'm going to be working on." And he started talking about the things he is going to be working on. So it wasn't like he's just like, "Nah, I'm good." It's not like that. That's kind of what people are trying to make it out to be.
Okay.
That's not what it was.
Because I remember Colin Kaepernick once said, I'm not really big into throwing mechanics. And he would talk about how Phillip Rivers throws and how everyone throws different. Like, that's not what I want to hear. I just want to know that he's doing whatever Quincy Avery tells him to do is all I care about. And it seems like he's going to. That's his guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Cap, man. He really that comment that you're talking about what Cap said.
Right.
That's a lot different from what Trey Lance was saying. He was responding to a question: Are you going to throw? Are you going to work on your throwing motion this year? He's all, not really my throwing motion. I've been passing. I think my throwing is good right now. And he was talking. And then he started talking about the things he's really going to focus on. And I think what Trey Lance needs to focus on more than anything, he just needs, obviously when he gets healthy, he just needs to get reps at throwing the ball in all different situations and scenarios. A lot of touch on the short passes, the quick screen passes. Those are the things he needs to work on more than
reps,
motion. Right? He
needs reps more than anything. Yeah. But I do feel that this mechanical thing is something that he can fix. It's an easy fix. It's been an issue, but it was an issue with Jalen Hurts as well. And when he fixes it, he's going to be like Jalen Hurts. People are writing this guy off way too soon. I don't really understand why. They act like he's not a good athlete. Dude, he runs like a 4.6 or better. That's what freaking Jalen Hurts runs. Like, just relax. It's been very much on Kyle. Kyle has to figure out how to use him. He's different than RG3 and Jimmy Garoppolo, but he's very similar to Jalen Hurts. If you put Trey Lance on the Eagles, he'd be doing well. You know what I'm saying? I think he's probably was the right pick. Mac Jones is terrible. You can't. I don't like Mac Jones at all. He got worse. He's not an athlete, and he's not a leader. Justin Fields is a great athlete, but as a passer, I think he just plays hero ball. He runs around, runs into sacks, throws picks. I like Trey Lance. I think he has the right idea. He's a really good athlete. He's just they put him behind the 8 ball for a couple of years, but he's still younger than Brock Purdy, and now he's got a real opportunity again to show his improvement. And if he comes into camp this year, the same guy he was last year, that's rough because he's running out of time on his rookie deal. But if he's improved, like Jalen Hurts did from year 2 to year 3, I mean, Brock Purdy's in trouble because Brock Purdy can't reach that gear. He can't reach that mile per hour. You know what I'm saying? So this is an interesting crossroads in Trey Lance's career right now.
Yeah, and the only thing he's been injured for a long time. So what Trey Lance needs, Trey Lance's ceiling is higher than a lot
anyone's.
A lot of
anyone's,
His ceiling is just crazy. He just needs rep, and he needs to stay healthy. If he can stay healthy and he can get reps and experience, I really don't see what would stop him from being a good quarterback. I don't see it. Right?
Well, unfortunately, the Niners' mentality is that he needs to keep it. What did he say? He needs to prove that he can stay healthy. That sucks. Instead of they need to prove that they can keep a quarterback healthy. Right. Because they don't think that they're any worse at it than other teams. But I don't see another team that went through 4 in a year. 4 in 20 games.
Just the fact that he's saying that, oh, man, I don't even know if I want to go down this route because it's so frustrating for me. But you're comparing Trey Lance's durability with Brock Purdy's, when they're playing two different positions essentially.
Yeah.
Like they're not even playing the same position. Like
yeah.
If you use Trey Lance or you use Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy the same way you use Trey Lance, they're probably going to have durability issues as well, I would imagine, right?
Also, Brock got hurt twice in 8 games. He injured his oblique and his rib, and then he injured his elbow, and the Niners blamed him for getting sacked, right? He should have stepped up. So, what do we talk? I mean, it's a pattern, man. They can't keep the longest they've kept a quarterback healthy is 20 games on this team.
Well, Brock Purdy and Jimmy Garoppolo both got injured, and none of them ran 13 times per game. So it's absolutely ridiculous to think that Brock Purdy or Jimmy Garoppolo is more durable than Trey Lance when you're not using them the same at all. It's absolutely ridiculous. And to throw them under the bus the way that John Lynch did really pissed me off. Like, because I really like John Lynch. I think he's a smart guy. I think he's a nice guy. But those statements really, like, John, you're better than this. And not only should you not think that, or is it not true, but come on, man, you worked in the media. You're a Hall of Famer. You know not to say stupid things like that. Yep. It was really weird and out of character for John Lynch to say it the way he did.
And what's funny to me is the Niners have such a tough time keeping their quarterbacks healthy. And then Kyle Shanahan says that really snarky thing, the last thing at his press conference is, well, we could just hand off every time. Like, that's literally what you did in the one NFC Championship game that you won here. You handed off every time except for 8. And that's the one year. The one year that they really committed to running the ball was the year that their quarterback didn't get hurt and they won the NFC Championship game. And they probably would have won the Super Bowl too if they hadn't given up on the running game at the very end. I don't know why Kyle Shanahan wants to pass so much. But when they run, it seems like good things happen. All their personnel is built to run. But Kyle, I don't know what it is. He just gets excited about throwing. Maybe it's his inner wide receiver, but, Kyle, maybe you should hand off more, dude. Yeah. Bro.
He should run until it's evident that they can't in every game. I mean, this team is built around it.
That's your identity. And when they got in McCaffrey, all of a sudden he became this pass-happy dude. And mid-playoffs, use checks like, hey, man, can we run, please? Please? Yeah. Also with Trey, you don't have to have him carry the ball. Just him handing off helps the offense. And I feel like there was way too much Trey running early in the season when he was only averaging 4 yards a carry, and it felt like everyone else was averaging 6 or 7. Like, let him be a decoy until teams adjust. And then when they overcompensate to stop who he's handing off to, he'll gash them. I feel like Eagles don't press the issue with Jalen Hurts, but when you're pouring all your resources into stopping everyone else, there he goes.
Yeah.
With a lead blocker. Mind you, with Trey Lance, he was always running naked, I want to say. Anyway, and to start the game. It's like, nah, man, he doesn't need to set the tone between the tackles in the first quarter. This is stuff you do like later in the game to get a crucial first down, a crucial touchdown. It's a high risk play, so it has to be for high reward too. You don't do it on 2nd and 9.
It's absolutely ridiculous, man. Yeah, and I understand the benefits of the 11-on-11 football. But just having him out there is a threat of that. And then
handing off, that's still 11-on-11.
It's still 11-on-11.
Yes. And then you have to honor him.
So now you got CMC, Elijah Mitchell, Jordan Mason, Deebo Samuel, freaking Ray Juice, and Trey Lance. Out of all those guys, he might be better than Juice at running. The rest of those guys.
And what's great is all eyes are on Trey. So you can have this gadget offense where, who has the ball? It's a double reverse. It's a zone read. It's an RPO. All eyes are on Trey. Yeah. And so that makes every single guy better. We saw it. What were the Niners averaging in yards per carry and yards per play when they were struggling with Trey Lance at quarterback this year? I bet it was freaking high. They just weren't finishing in the red zone because they didn't, as a team, didn't start to finish in the red zone until like week 11. So, I mean, that's it's everyone. So anyway.
Let me ask you this, man. Here's another point to it. The 49ers are known for running the ball, right? So teams, what do? They stack the box, try to stop the run. Mm-hmm. What can Trey do that none of these other quarterbacks on the 49ers have done?
Put the ball over the top.
And that's how you spread the defense, right? So that's the threat that they need to utilize with Trey Lance over him running the ball when he's probably the 5th best runner on the team.
Yeah, and how many deep shots did they take? That everyone remembers. We missed the one to Tyler Kroft on the first drive of the season. First of all, it was Tyler Kroft. Oh my God, it's crazy how the season started and ended with Tyler Kroft. But he also hit Ray. He hit Juwan Jennings. He has some nice throws. He got hurt immediately. Anyway, we're gonna talk more about Trey Lance. Trey Lance, I was like, you better do this right, Trey. I think he is. Sorry, I think it was a misunderstanding, Trey. Don't hate me. I think the fact that he's working with Quincy Avery was a tip-off. Like, how is Quincy going to let Jalen do the right thing and Trey do the wrong thing? And is Trey really the kind of guy who's like, Jalen or Quincy, I got it. Yeah. I think I know what I'm doing. I don't think so.
And it was the throwing motion of his arm, not
right.
He said he's not working on his throwing motion.
That's not what he needs to do.
On his footwork or his
right, because he's sensitive about that he has to tighten his throwing motion or make. No, that's not what his thing is. It was with Jay. It's the synchronization of your upper body and your lower body. And if you throw yourself, you know that there is a process with your lower body. You go bent back knee to bent front knee to straight front knee. When you decelerating is where you get hurt. And it's the most violent part of the motion. Decelerate your arm, decelerate your lower body, you straighten your leg. And at least when I was a kid, I had terrible throwing mechanics because I was always hurt. And what you try to do is, I think sometimes you straighten your lower leg, your front leg, if you're trying to slow down your arm because you're anticipating pain. He had arm fatigue. I don't know what it was. If that's all in the past, he should be able to throw free and easy. It's something that he could be that can be pointed out on film and he can fix rather easily. Just with reps, so I think it's okay. Yeah,
I think most of it boils down to footwork more than anything, and that's not considered throwing motion. That's mechanics, footwork. So he's going to be working.
I would call it mechanics. Yeah, I don't know. As a baseball player, it all goes together. I mean, throwing, hitting, it all starts with your lower body anyway.
Right.
But yeah, I think he gets that in sync. He'll be fine. And once he gets that in sync, all of a sudden it's going to be like, oh my God, he's completing 67% of his passes. How did he do it? Like, that one thing.
Yeah. If the 49er fans and his teammates and the coach can be patient and use him the right way, I don't see why he can't be. God, I mean, he has so much damn potential, man. He just needs reps.
You just give a guy like, again, to me, he's Jalen Hurts in terms of raw athletic ability. He didn't have as much rep. He didn't go to Alabama and Oklahoma, but just in terms of the athlete, he's a lot like Jalen Hurts. If you put him in the right situation with the right scheme and let him play and keep him healthy, after a while, it seems inevitable. He's going to be he is already one of the best athletes on the field. He just has to get his feet underneath him, and the Niners have never given a chance to get his feet underneath him.
That's all it is, man.
But what's interesting about this season is they may not have a choice.